This video is brought to you by people who like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You can also support my work by buying me a coffee. The Fellowship of Guelphissauga continues, with giant cheques helping those in the red. The creatures of the province scratched the mayor's back this week for being a good YIMBY Orc. Paul of Calandra, the Provincial Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, brought a giant cheque for $4.68 million to town. The giant cheque was to help the Corporation of the Shire with the housing cost crisis and fund the mayor's European-inspired YIMBY dreams. The mayor put on his best suit and gave the provincial minister the grand tour of the Shire, including a stop at College Royal. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves do anything about the housing cost crisis? And will the giant cheques help those in the red? In the mayor's office downtown, he was enjoying the slightly cleaner view from his office window. With fewer tents ruining the view, the mayor smirked at his small victory and felt slightly less butthurt about getting cyberbullied on Twitter. Like his promise for lower tax increases the next year, the mayor used his strong powers to turn off the comments and blocked people online. He plugged in his Game Boy to resume his game of European-inspired SimCity, which was where a giant reward was waiting to cheer him up. Congratulations! You've earned a giant gift from the Big Blue Orc. Push X to accept, filled the mayor's Game Boy screen and lit up his eyes. He immediately pushed the X button to accept the gift, even though he was playing on a Game Boy, and opened up the letter attached to it. The letter explained that the next day the Provincial Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Paul of Calandra, will visit the Shire to give him a $4.68 million giant cheque to make him whole. The mayor saw the $1 million amount and yelled "YIMBY, YIMBY, YIMBY" in excitement, since he would now have more tax dollars to play with to fund his European-inspired dreams. He forwarded the announcement to the Council of Elders, a few others, to bring a big group for the giant cheque ceremony the next day. The next day, the mayor put on his best suit for the giant cheque ceremony. He wanted to look his best as the creatures of the province came to town to praise him for his orcish behavior. They were pleased that the Corporation of the Shire had 1,287 new housing starts in 2023, which was 98% of their 1,320 unit YIMBY target. Had the mayor exceeded the target, which he could have done with just a few more percentages, then he would have received a bonus on top of that $4.68 million. But that didn't bother him, since he was distracted by all the praise he was getting from the provincial minister. He's not afraid to fight on behalf of your city, and he's not afraid to hold me to task when he feels I've gone in the incorrect direction, Calandra said about the mayor. I can tell you the mayor has screamed at me on a lot of occasions, but in a very nice, polite way. He added to reassure everyone that the mayor wasn't cyberbullying him. He went on to credit the mayor for contributing ideas and comments used in the creation of provincial housing policy. After all the praise and wasted time thanking everyone there, the provincial minister refused to take any questions, but was willing to end the meeting with a group photo. The few people who bothered to show up huddled in for a group selfie with the giant cheque. The mayor was already smiling ear to ear from all the compliments he was getting, so his group selfie turned out perfectly, alongside Councillors O'Rourke, Keaton, and Chu. Elder O'Rourke was wearing her new red jacket as she shadowed Lloyd's of the Longfield spot in the group photo. Aaron of Keaton was there representing trans housing rights and wore a mask to help create a safe space around the group selfie. Whereas Kenneth Chu smiled along too, but really wondered why he was there. According to the Corporation of the Shire's books, they're expected to take a $227 million hit over a 10-year period due to the provincial government's Bill 23, and yet they were there celebrating a giant check for only $4 million. He wanted to ask the Provincial Minister where the other $223 million would arrive, but of course, he didn't take any questions. When the group photo was done, the Provincial Housing Minister jogged to his car and headed back to the swamps of Toronto in haste. He remembered the warning from the Big Blue Orc about all the left-wing lunatics in the Shire, and he didn't want to stay any longer after spotting one in the group photo. The mayor was surprised he left so suddenly and didn't know what to do with the extra time. Elder O'Rourke suggested they continue taking group selfies around town, and after thinking about it, the mayor said sure, why not? She also asked Councillors Chu and Caton if they wanted to join the selfie tour, but they passed. Councillor Chu was still confused why he was there, and Erin of Caton wanted to go home since she was out of breath. The next stop on the selfie tour was at the Shire's University, where College Royal was going on, the yearly traditional family-friendly event. The mayor and Elder O'Rourke drove the 10 minutes it takes from downtown to campus and parked in lot P24+. On the way in, he asked her what her goal was with the selfie tour, which she had lots of time to explain over the 25-minute walk into campus from the parking lot. This time, O'Rourke was wearing a red hoodie, similar to her red jacket, which she has been using to signal her intent to run for the Red Liberal Party and take Lloyd of the Longfield spot in the next election. She told the mayor that her goal was to get herself her own giant check one day, and it was making her see red. The mayor chuckled and wished her the best with her quest. The 25-minute walk from the parking lot had tuckered out the mayor, so they entered the university's new $1 million athletic center to watch the Aggies line dance. As they walked into the building, they ran into the university's president, Charlotte of Yates, who just happened to be there, and snagged a group selfie. The mayor asked her how the university was doing, and she laughed about it being in the red. Even with the university running in the red, with consistent multi-year $1 million deficits, it wasn't bothering her at all, as she smiled in the group photo. She knew she could keep milking her cash cows with a new guarantee for residences for them for their entire degree instead of just first year. Her calmness reassured the mayor, with his corporation's books possibly going in the red from the immediate pause on new capital projects and most staff hires. After watching the line dancing competition, the mayor was ready to go home, but O'Rourke wanted to continue the group selfie tour. She had one last stop to make at a temple to visit all the new voters the Lord of the Liberals had imported to help with the next election. Without the mayor in tow, she put on another layer of red lipstick and finished her selfie tour in a long red dress. Bear returned to his car to head home and heard a loud kaboom when starting the engine. He let the car idle for a minute or so, but everything seemed fine. He put the car into gear and drove home without any problems. But it wasn't the mayor's car that made the loud kaboom. It was yet another propane tank exploding in the Tentacannon. Unaware of the red embers burning in the background, the mayor drove past the Hanlon as smoke billowed and rose over the horizon. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves do anything about the housing cost crisis? And will the giant cheques help those in the red? Stay tuned here to see. This video is brought to you by brighttutoring.ca. Don't let school get in the way of your education. Book a tutoring session today at brighttutoring.ca.